Welcome to the Royals Project YouTube channel. Please feel free to check out all of our character videos and let us know if you have any cool ideas on things characters could do in a video.
Hello everyone and welcome to Storytime. Today I'm going to read the story called Harold and the Purple Crayon by Crockett Johnson. This is such a fun story that I always loved reading. Let's see. One evening, after thinking it over for some time, Harold decided to go for a walk in the moonlight. There wasn't any moon, and Harold needed a moon for a walk in the moonlight. And he needed something to walk on. He made a long straight path so he wouldn't get lost, and he set off on his walk taking his big purple crayon with him. But he didn't seem to be getting anywhere on the long straight path, so he left the path for a shortcut across a field, and the moon went with him. The shortcut led right to where Harold thought a forest ought to be. He didn't want to get lost in the woods, so he made a very small forest with just one tree in it. It turned out to be an apple tree. The apples would be very tasty, Harold thought, when they got red. So he put a frightening dragon under the tree to guard the apples. It was a terribly frightening dragon. It even frightened Harold. He backed away. His hand holding the purple crayon shook. Suddenly he realized what was happening. By then Harold was over his head in an ocean. He came up thinking fast, and in no time he was climbing aboard a trim little boat. He quickly set sail, and the moon sailed along with him. After he had sailed long enough, Harold made land without much trouble. He stepped ashore on the beach, wondering where he was. The sandy beach reminded Harold of picnics, and the thought of picnics made him hungry. So he laid a nice, simple picnic lunch. There was nothing but pie, but there were all 9 kinds of pie that Harold liked best. When Harold finished his picnic, there was quite a lot left. He hated to see so much delicious pie go to waste. So Harold left a very hungry moose and a deserving porcupine to finish it up. And off he went, looking for the hill to climb to see where he was. Oh, I'm sure my woodland creatures would have loved those pies. Harold knew that higher up he went, the further he could see, so he decided to make a hill into a mountain. If he went high enough, he thought he could see the window of his bedroom. He was tired and he felt like he ought to be going to bed. He hoped he could see his bedroom window from the top of the mountain. But as he looked down over the other side, he slipped, and there wasn't another side of the mountain. He was falling in thin air. But luckily he kept his wits and his purple crayon, and he made a balloon and grabbed onto it. He made a basket under the balloon big enough to stand in. He had a fine view from the balloon, but he couldn't see his window. He couldn't even see a house. So he made a house with windows, and he landed the balloon in the grass in the front yard. None of the windows was his window. He tried to think where his window ought to be. He made some more windows. He made a big building full of windows. He made lots of buildings full of windows. He made a whole city full of windows. But none of the windows was his window. He couldn't think where it might be. I wonder where his window is. He decided to ask a policeman. The policeman pointed the way that Harold was going anyways, but Harold thanked him. And he walked along the moon, wishing he was in his room and in his bed. Then suddenly, Harold remembered. He remembered where the bedroom window was when there was a moon. It was always right around the moon. And then Harold made his bed, and he got in it and drew up the covers. The purple crayon dropped to the floor, and Harold dropped off to sleep. Wow, it sounded like Harold had quite an adventure with his purple crayon. I wonder if you guys have some time at home? If you could find your own purple crayon and create your own adventure. Maybe you can go off into a forest and make some pies like Harold, or you can go anywhere you want in the world. I hope you have a lot of fun and enjoy your day. Bye. Hello and welcome to Story Time. Today I wanted to read a story called Spaghetti in a Hot Dog Bun. It sounds a little silly, but this is a good story about having courage to be who you really are. And this is written by Maria Dismondy and pictures were done by Kim Shaw. So let's see, spaghetti in a hot dog bun. The delicious smell of breakfast filled the air as Lucy's grandpa handed her a plate. Lucy smeared ketchup on her toast. She turned to her grandpa and said, "Papa Gino, Harriet said she'd never heard of ketchup on toast. Her family uses butter and jelly." "It's okay. Not everyone likes the same thing, Lucy. It doesn't mean that one person is right or wrong. We're all different. What a boring world it would be if we were all exactly alike." "Do you remember what's really important?" Papa Gino asked. "Yes, Papa. Even if we're different from others on the outside, we all have hearts with feelings on the inside." "That's my girl. Remember, when you treat others with love and kindness, you're doing the right thing," Papa Gino replied. On the school bus, Lucy and her friend Harriet pulled out some paper and crayons. Sitting across from them was Ralph. As usual, Ralph sat alone, staring out the window. He looked over at them and rolled his eyes. In the classroom, Lucy sat down near the teacher. Ralph carelessly hurried over and tripped on Lucy's foot. Before long, he was glaring at her. Ralph whispered, "Woof! I can't see the book with this poodle in front of me." Lucy could hear him giggling behind her. "Oh no, why did it have to be me?" she wondered. During lunch, Harriet shouted one of her silly jokes over the other children's voices. As the girls ate, their bellies shook with laughter. Across the table, Ralph hollered, "Yuck! That's the disgusting smell. Who ever heard of eating spaghetti on a hot dog bun?" Tony and the other children at the table turned away from Ralph, shaking their heads. Ralph continued, "Poor little Lucy with her hair so poofy." Tears filled Lucy's eyes and she began to cry. That didn't make her feel so good, did it? On the way home, Lucy thought about what happened. Maybe Ralph is mean to me because he thinks that being different is bad. I wish he would stop teasing me. It looks like he's putting something in her hair. Slowly, Lucy stepped off the bus. "How was your day?" Papa Gino asked. "Fine," she mumbled. Papa Gino reached over and pulled the crayon out of her hair. "How did this happen?" he asked. Lucy didn't say a word. That night, as Papa Gino tucked Lucy into bed, he asked, "Is everything all right at school?" Lucy rolled over. He sat down and whispered, "Always remember, if something's not right, we can work on fixing it together." It's not that easy, thought Lucy. How do I stop Ralph from teasing me? How can he have a heart and be so mean? Lucy had a hard time falling asleep, worrying about what would happen tomorrow. The following day, Lucy was surprised to find Ralph leaving her alone. Until Lucy took the bag that Ralph handed her. Inside were dog bones and with a note that read, "Lucy, Lucy eats stinky food and puts us all in a big bad mood. Lucy, Lucy, your hair shaped like a cone. Here's a treat for you, a yummy dog bone." The beating of Lucy's heart was so loud she knew everyone around her could hear it. "Stop! It hurts my feelings when you do this, Ralph," Lucy said. "Please stop." Ralph turned and walked away. It was recess time and Lucy played alone. She didn't want to tell her teacher about Ralph. She was afraid of being a tattletale. Lucy wished Papa Gino was there to help. What should I do? She asked herself over and over. The bell rang and recess ended. "Help!" cried a child off in the distance. Tony yelled, "Ralph got himself stuck on the top of the monkey bars. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen." "This is my chance. I'll go tell Ralph how mean he really is. M-E-A-N, mean." Lucy stomped off towards the monkey bars. When she reached Ralph, Lucy paused. She looked him in the eye and said, "What you did was so mean." Standing before Ralph, Lucy could hear her papa's words. Ralph did have a heart with feelings. In that moment, Lucy decided that what she would do. She saw tears in Ralph's eyes. He hesitated to move and whispered, "I'm scared." Lucy reached out and said, "Here, take my hand," and she helped him down. The two walked back to the classroom without saying a word. As the bus pulled up to Lucy's stop, Ralph reached over and handed her a picture. Lucy was amazed by what she saw. "Thanks," she muttered softly. He handed her a picture that he drew of a dinosaur. After she got off the bus, Lucy smiled and said, "Papa, there's this boy Ralph who's really mean to me. Today he was in trouble and I helped him." Papa Gino hugged Lucy and replied, "That took a lot of courage. It wasn't the easiest thing to do. You chose to treat others the way that you want to be treated. I'm so proud of you, Lucy." As they walked home, she asked him what was for dinner. When Papa Gino said spaghetti, Lucy immediately knew what she would have for lunch the next day. Her favorite sandwich, spaghetti and a hot dog bun. She chose to do the right thing by being kind to another person that might not have been very kind to her. It's okay to be different, and it's okay to like different things than somebody else. Just remember, always have courage and be kind.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, you should check out the Royals Project's YouTube page and consider subscribing. If you shared this video, you'd be my hero. I gotta get back out there and start fighting crime. I'll catch you on the flip side.